Hello, we're here again. It's episode 51, and well, thank you, Delboy, for joining us again. And let's just get into it. Yes, how are you? Are you okay?
Yeah,
Um,
sorry if you heard my phone go off. I've still got the phone on because it
yeah,
tells me if the occupational health nurse has arrived
yeah,
or anything
yeah,
like that.
no problem.
Yeah. Everything's a bit of a every day is a learning day. Is the one thing I will say. And the more I go into it, I keep going forward, the more I think a routine is nearly there. Do you know what I mean? I'm not
Yeah.
quite there yet. Tomorrow, just to give you an update, tomorrow we get the hospital bed
Oh,
being
good.
delivered.
Yeah, that's good.
Um,
Yeah.
Today we had the replacement chair because I bought a chair and it was defective. Lots and lots of arguments with the seller. And speaking to Amazon totally understood my plight in regards to my mother. And
Yeah.
they said, what you want to do is they said, buy another chair. I'll contact the seller. And when that chair arrives, let me know and I'll arrange for pickup. He can't
Oh.
do anything about it.
Hmm.
And because the way that he wanted to do it, this seller, he wanted to pick up the chair and 3 days later send me out a replacement. Well, where's my
Hmm.
mum going to sit?
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I turned around to Amazon and I said, that's not looking good because you gotta think of due care, you know.
Mm.
What this guy is asking me to do is have my mum sit on the floor or stay in the bed for 24 hours, 48 hours. It's not going to happen. So all I wanted was at the same time as they picked up the chair, they brought another chair with them. Right?
Mm.
It's not difficult. But this guy, I'm pretty sure that this guy wanted to take the chair away, fix it, and bring back the same one.
Mm.
Right? Amazon saw that as well, and they said, just order another chair from
Yeah.
somewhere out. A different type of chair, and we'll contact the seller and say, you can pick up the chair, but you need to tell me when the new chair arrives so that I can get him to pick up
Mm.
the old chair, right?
Yeah.
And it arrived today. So of course I've sent a message to Amazon to say they can pick it up any day from tomorrow.
Mm.
So that's pretty much it, really. It's been a interesting week. I wish I could say that I've watched lots of films, but I haven't. The only thing that's turned up in the post is my copy of Scanners turned up,
All right. Yeah.
and my version of The Brood
Yeah. I
turned up.
like that cover. That's outstanding cover, that of the
I'll
Brood.
see if I can
Yeah.
turn the background off. I don't
I
know if
think
that.
it's really outstanding, that cover.
So if I do that, there you
Yeah.
go. So now you can see The
Yeah.
Brood.
It's just sort of striking, isn't it? That.
Bloody big
Um,
collector sets, these,
yeah.
the Scanners.
Yeah.
And of course, you sod, you got your Life Force one day before mine. Mine arrives tomorrow.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah. So I thought to myself, oh, that's a bastard. He got in there early.
uh,
You know. Two, believe it or not, two Nosferatus turned up.
two.
Yeah.
Oh. The same editions.
Yeah.
Oh. So.
I mean, Muckman raised a question because I sent him my spare copy of Constantine, right? He
Yeah.
wanted to know whether there was a weird logarithm that I've worked on or made it on why this is happening. I'll tell you all that happens is I'm very, very stupid, right? And I ordered like a copy from HMV and then I order a copy from Amazon or something, right?
Mm.
And I forget to cancel one of them.
Uh,
All it is, right? But I don't send the HMV and the Zavvi ones back because they want postage and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Amazon don't quibble.
No. No.
So with Amazon, I just turn around and I make an excuse because they usually send things 5 days later. You know what I mean? If you order something, you know that you must have heard us all talk about. Oh, I've ordered Doctor Who from Amazon, but it says it's going to be sent to me on Saturday or something, and
That's
it's 5 days
yeah.
after the Monday or whatever it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't make a big I don't make a big thing of this, but I do phone them up, and I do say this was supposed to be a birthday present and it's arrived late.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Right. Even though I'm supposed to sort of like tell them I've just ordered it by mistake. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I tell them, oh, it was a birthday present. And sometimes they'll say, that's okay, send it back, you'll get a refund. Other times they'll say, I'll keep it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what generally tends to happen. So when I have 2 copies of something, I usually send them to friends. So that's why you've had a copy of something, and Muckman's had a copy of something, and previous friends have had. It's not like I've worked the system. I suppose it's because I buy so many.
Yeah, yeah.
They just
you're a good customer to Amazon as well, aren't you? So they're not going to upset you, are they?
I mean, I've got literally over here. If any of my friends want it, right, I've got a spare Super Mario one. Hang on. Yeah. So I got 2 of these. Right. Trouble is, I don't know too many people that would want that. I probably could send it to Pete.
Yeah, I'm sure somebody will want it. Game people.
The thing about it is that I've got 2. It didn't. They don't charge me for it.
Yeah.
And I'd rather give it to someone.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not like I'm buying friends. Some people have said that in the past. I'm going, it's not. I said, I can't be asked to go into town and go to Kett's and get a voucher and all this sort of crap. And I'm too lazy, really. So I live next door to a post office. So basically, in fact, actually, I'm so lazy that I've got an envelope that comes through the door because they've already sent me 1 million bloody DVDs this week. It's easier for me just to reseal it and put an address on it and go next door and post it than it is for me to go down, get in my car, pay car park, get a Kex and get a £20 voucher.
Yeah.
It's pure laziness.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, look at it like that. So, there is, you could turn around and go, oh, he's the most generous friend in the world. Actually, what it is, I'm so bloody lazy, I couldn't be asked. and then I'll go, but I thought of you.
It's a good one.
All it is, I'm just lazy. So I did watch the film Interlude this week.
Oh yes, yeah.
An old 1968 film, which has got a beautiful score by Georges Delarue. I was preparing my blog, and I noticed that in my section that's called Films, TV, and Soundtracks, I don't generally fill it with too much soundtrack stuff. So I was typing in soundtracks by blah blah blah, and I put Georges Delarue in, and it came up with Interlude, and I've got Interlude, I've got the album Interlude, and I started to listen to it on YouTube, and I went, oh, I'm gonna have to mention that in my blog, and then I sent it to you, really, and said, what do you think of this track? This is a beautiful track. Came out in 1968. And then I watched it. It made me want to watch the film, and I loved the film. It was a great film. I haven't seen it in years. Because to be quite honest, the only thing that I've been watching on YouTube, really, and I suppose it's because I can't miss it, is that Elton John's new album came out last week, and absolutely he's being promoted just about everywhere. He's on bloody The One Show, he's on Good Morning Britain, he's everywhere, right? This new album. And he also did a 50-minute documentary of his own writing of the album, right? Which although brilliant, right? It's just you going, look, he's now in every alert feed I've got, right? Everywhere, every alert feed. And there's people in Australia that are talking about the colored album, the Coca-Cola vinyl version and the red, white, yellow vinyl version and all this sort of stuff. And I'm going, bloody hell, even I'm now starting to get pissed off, with the full blown advertisement.
Yeah.
But saying that, I bought the album. I love the album.
That's good.
I listened to it. It's interesting on how many people are ranking the tracks and where they put certain track rankings, because they're different to what I think of. Maybe it's because I'm more Elton John fan than I am this Brandy Carlisle. I think that's her name. I'm more a fan of Elton than I am her.
Yeah.
I'd hardly ever heard of her, to be quite honest.
I've heard of Belinda Carlisle, but not Brandy Carlisle.
Yeah, it's Brandy Carlisle. Apparently, she's a folk type singer. And Elton John, I think it's through the AIDS Foundation that he discovered or found out about her.
Yeah.
And that's because she's a lesbian and got
kiddies. Right, I get it.
And he's a gay gentleman with two kiddies. Yeah. So they go on holidays together and all of that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She just happens to be a musician.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Like that. And he did say in his documentary what he wanted to give her a push. Nobody's ever heard of her. I'll give you a push. If my name can push your album forward, so be it. You know what I mean? And I've got no doubt whatsoever that her name's not out there, because Christ, every single bloody time I open up YouTube, it's got a bloody alert with that album. So I'd like to hear, because I think that the crowd would like to know, film-wise, what you've been watching.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what I'll start off with. I watched the first part of Becoming Led Zeppelin. Proper music. It's really grand. Absolutely loved it. I liked it because it's in depth, and they've managed to get a radio interview with which they must have found in the archive with John Bonham, and that is essential because obviously he's not with us, and that interview they integrate it into the documentary, and it works well. It must have, they were really lucky to find that radio interview, because it's just a great, if you like me and love all the details about how the group, their influences and how they got together and the whole story, then it's a great documentary. Absolutely wonderful.
I must admit, I tell you what, I don't know what it is. I don't know if you feel the same. As I've gotten older, I've actually fell in love with documentaries again.
Yes, I love a good
documentary. If there was a choice between a film and a documentary, I'd still want to watch the film. Yeah. But I've got no problem with me going through my channels.
Yeah.
Going, I'll watch this documentary.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to do two things. Sorry, because I should have introduced that better. So I'm going to introduce it again. First of all, I'm going to say Through the Lens. Hello, mate, because I know that you've hardly ever got any time. So I want to say hello to Josh, and please go and look at his channel. Secondly, I'm going to reintroduce your films bit. So I'm going to say, Ian, so can you tell me, what have you been watching this week Or, secondly, I want to alternately title this section as "What has Tony sent you this week?"
Yeah, that joke as well. We've got to have that joke in. And everybody be waiting for the Tony rant as well.
Well, that bastard.
Tony. Anyhow, it's interesting. You watch a documentary like that on Led Zeppelin, and it makes me realize how good that music is. And then you kind of listen to some modern day music, and you think, "Oh, dear me, yes, I've got old. There's nothing that can touch the old music like Led Zeppelin. They just were such proper musicians who could play in a band together and had such an understanding. They didn't go into a studio and you know what they do in studios nowadays. Nobody's playing the instruments properly. It's all that kind of stuff. Anyhow, now the film that I downloaded, which is, there's been a lot on the internet about it. I was looking on YouTube, people's opinions on this film. It is, of course, Opus, John Malkovich and Iona Edinburgh. Now, I wouldn't have remembered her name. She's very good. In fact, if there's anything good in this film, it's his performance. But even his performance, you wonder, he's over the top in it, of course. He seems to be enjoying it. But is he enjoying it? That's the question. But Iona Edinburgh, who I looked up, is in some sort of series called The Bear, which I've never seen.
Yes, he is. Yeah,
she's a very good actress. I think
it's on Netflix, The Bear. Or Prime, one of the two.
She's in that anyhow, but she's good. But sadly, she's the best thing in the film for me. The film is a big disappointment. I mean, it just doesn't. The basic story is this: John Malkovich plays this. They say he's an icon, what a load of cobblers, but he's come back after 30 years and he invites all these various people to his new album that he's bringing out, and all these various types of people, critics and writers, come and meet. And of course, it's always interesting. It just happens to be in some sort of place out of the way, and it just happens to be like a compound, where you go in and have to hand in your mobile phones. And if you see that, then you think, hey, up, something's going on here. And this, in many ways, is kind of a criticism now of this, because there's this type of horror film which has been repeated over and over again. It's going to go into the horror. Something's not quite right, and most people should have noticed, but there's always one person who notices, which is the lead actress in this. It's getting a bit tired now, and I think this was reflected in this film. The horror wasn't that particularly good. It wasn't very frightening. It was all expected. And I think his performance got really tired. He was obviously thought he was enjoying it, so over the top. But really, I didn't like it that much at all. I have to be honest. I just found it just over the top. I mean, it's about cults. Cults are interesting. We have seen a lot of films about looking into cults. And the effects what they do.
Manson was a cult, wasn't it?
Yeah, all these kind of things, and there've been quite some good films have come out of that. But this one, it just didn't work for me. I don't know what it is. Are we getting tired, as say, of all this? I am. You know what's going to happen, and I think it was an A24 one again. Are they not as good now in what they're releasing? I was disappointed in it. I really was. So that's my disappointment of the week. And a lot of, I think, other people felt similar sort of things about it. There were some people going on about it, but to me, it's not something I want to watch again, or have on a physical media copy of it. No, not for me. Perhaps I might give it a chance. I've got the download. I could watch it again maybe in the future. But that kind of horror has now become a bit tired, I think. It's tired. You know what's going to happen. Anyhow, yeah, I'll just I just mentioned it very quickly. It is Life Force. I love this film. It's one of my all-time favorite films. Toby Hooper's best film.
Features.
Yeah, and it's just great. I love it. And then this is your Tony York section. You're gonna go in a minute, but I've got to go into it. Now this one.
Sorry. This is
you always say it every week.
This is the bastard section. Yeah, go on.
Yeah. This film I absolutely love.
Oh, I'm just gonna go and check on my mum while you're going. Yeah. While you're doing the crap Tony section. All right, I'll be back.
Yeah. This is a French film called Le Doulos. And it's directed by Jean-Pierre Melville. And I really love this film. He's a director who loves these sort of American Manhattan kind of look, a film noir look, which he brought to the French cinema. And this is great. This is like about this Deuce with the hat and everything is supposedly symbolic of informers, people who are in the criminal world informing. It's what the French seem to get into in that period. These crime films, and they're imitating the American cinema. They're bringing. As somebody says in this documentary, they're bringing Manhattan to Paris, and that's what this film shows. But it's so well done. I loved it. The acting, the actors, and there was no Alain Delon in it. He wasn't in it, which was surprising. But I think he's in a few of this director's films. But this is a great film. I really enjoyed it. Seeing great performances. I think it's about 1963, 64. 63. Black and white, looks great. Again, the film noir influences. Absolutely beautiful film. And then I watched this one and I reviewed it because I fell in love with it. It's, of course, Spring and Port Wine. James Mason, absolutely one of my favorite actors. This film just caught for me my own upbringing, even though this is in Bolton, which is the wrong side. It's got to be in Yorkshire, of course. But I'll forgive it for that. But this is a great film. James Mason is such a versatile actor, and this part he plays the father so well. And of course, this interesting actress, Diane Coupland, who people will probably know from Bless This House. And she's really good in it. And there's Rodney Bewes in it. And there's Hannah Gordon, you may know as well. She was in the TV series, I remember, with, what's his name? Look who does Please. John Alderton, yeah. I remember her with John Alderton. And, of course, Susan George, again. Susan George, again, in an early role, I think before a breakout, sort of, as an actress. But she's really good in it. You already can see her. She's, fantastic film. It just brought back so many memories seeing this in my own childhood. The way it's filmed in Bolton and the streets and the shops and everything, that whole neighborhood. Fantastic film. It just brilliant. And finally, I'd just like to mention this film. It's Burt Lancaster, who's an actor. I should watch more of his films, Burt Lancaster. This one is The Train, and this one is really good. What's happening is that Paris is going to fall to the Allies. It's that period. It's after D-Day, and they're closing it, and the Nazis are getting all the arts, all the artwork, putting it on a train, getting it out of Paris. And Burt Lancaster plays the man who's got to organize all this. Now, he's a Frenchman and a patriot, of course. So his job really is he wants to keep the artwork safe for France, but he wants to make sure that they don't get it to Germany. And he's brilliant the way he creates all these problems. Looks like he's cooperating, but they keep getting all these problems. It's a brilliant film. The concept, that the Nazis seeing the importance of art and what it represented, and him as a Frenchman, as a patriot, and a whole group of them making sure that the Nazis didn't get it into Germany. It's absolutely wonderful, and it made you. It's good to see other aspects about the World War going on. I really liked it. I thought it was a great film, and he's a good actor. I should watch more of his films. Definitely. Burt Lancaster. One of my favorite films, which I must try and see, is The Birdman of Alcatraz, where he's this prisoner in Alcatraz, and he becomes one of the most famous experts to do with birds. Absolutely brilliant. Sorry, you're talking, but I can't hear you.
No, sorry, I was going to say, you telling me you haven't seen The Birdman of Alcatraz?
No, I have seen it. It's brilliant. It's one that I should have in my collection sometime.
That's got Telly Savalas in it, hasn't it?
Yes, it has. Yes, it has. You're right. Yeah, I've seen it so many times on TV, but it's a great film. But anyhow, that was a good aspect of the war. It's always good to see different angles. There's a lot of Second World War films, and this is just showing a different angle that we perhaps haven't seen before about the artwork. Great works of art, and fantastic.
See, I do apologize that I had myself on mute. You see, but if anybody can lip read, you'll probably find there was 25 swear words, and they all ended Tony. Right? Bastard Tony, shitty Tony. I must have said that a lot of times. So even my mum turned around and said, "Have we got past the section yet where Tony is doing his
yeah." Anyhow, I can say I've finished now, so you don't have to see any more Tony stuff. I could have done some more. I'll just put them down. There are a couple of other films, but I'm happy to talk about those.
No. I always find it entertaining. The reason that is I do think that when it comes to your section, there's much more variety in the films that you watch than I watch.
Yeah, right? Well, I do. I like to watch.
When I do get back to watching films, which I will, it's just a matter of time, when things settle down.
I don't like to be stuck in one genre. It's so easy to, and I can understand it. We like sci-fi and horror, but I like to see drama. I like to see historical films. I like to see just any type of film, and foreign language films. I enjoy them. Subtitles never put me off. French cinema has got such a rich vein of films. It's always worth watching French cinema. Right. So we'll go through the comments. Right. So the first one I've got here is from Cy. Hello, Cy. Evening. I hope all is well with Mrs. Dell. I even had a rhyme there.
I'll tell you what, Cy, thank you so much. And I do mean it. When I go in to see my mum, like I did just now, and of course I'm waiting for the occupational nurse to come in at about 8:50, so I'll have to go again shortly. I do say I'm doing a stream with my friend Ian, and everybody in the stream wants you to be well, Mum. Just going to let you know that. And some, and obviously there are certain people that I will mention. So I will say things like Muckman said hello, Sai said hello. I do that. And those are the people that I think that I see turn up every week in here. Do you know what I mean? There's certain people that we now sort of like nearly know on first name basis. Do you know what I mean? So, there's still the odd one that throws me. But they're all turning into being my friends, like they're because they're obviously big followers of you, Ian. So I'm always taken aback by such generosity and niceness, really. So
yeah. That's true. I think I totally agree with you.
I mean, my mum still thinks Tony's a bastard, but I mean, that's she just told me to. Well, actually, she said, when you go back into the room, can you say, Tony, you're a bastard for me? I went, yeah, all right, I'll do that. It's not a problem. So there you are. I have to do that because my mum told me I had to.
Right. We've got Alan Fox. Hello, people. Hello, Alan. Thank you for joining us.
Hello, Alan.
And then we've got Steve Moles. Good evening, Ian and Delboy, and everyone in the chat. Hello, Stephen. And then we've got Josh through the lens. Hey, fellas, how are you both? Welcome to the chat, Josh.
And that's why I was saying. That's why I was saying hello to Josh, because I know that sometimes he has to disappear. And I'll tell you a film that you're going to see crop up in a moment. Bob actually mentioned it. I really want to see it myself, and that's the film Novocaine.
Oh, yeah, I've heard that mentioned a lot. Yeah,
I want to see that film.
Yeah.
So I will make a point of seeing that this week.
Yeah.
Anyway, go on.
And then we've got Josh saying, picked up Nosferatu on 4K yesterday. Beautiful transfer and one of my favorite films of last year.
Hey, Josh, if I know where you can get a cheap copy that's got big dents in it, but it'll send it to you really cheap. His name's Muckman. No, that wasn't very nice, was it?
No, that wasn't. Anyhow, what can I say? Right. We've got Tony. Hello, Tony. Evening, Ian and Del. Hope your mum's as good as possible, Del.
Oh, sorry. I saw the name Tony and I had to do that. Sorry.
Yeah, there you are.
Nervous.
About your mum. Yeah.
No, thank you so much, Tony. You bastard. Right, next.
Alan Fox, question. I know you guys are collectors, but do you have any strange collections? Example, I just finished my complete Terry Thomas film collection. Strange. It's interesting, that word strange.
You know what? I used to think that my B-movie collection was strange because not many. I didn't think a lot of people watched B-movies. You know what I mean? What we considered B-movies was what America would consider drive-in movies. You know, all that stuff that was knocked out.
Yeah.
You know, like really quick, like The Blob and The Incredible Shrinking Man and all of that sort of stuff. You know, the attack of the 60-foot woman or something. You know, what I mean? all of that crap, right? And I've now found out that's not strange at all. That's norm now. That's the norm now, collecting all that sort of stuff. So that's an interesting one, because I wouldn't consider Terry Thomas per se to be an unusual one. It's out there because you don't hear him being mentioned a lot, but that might be just because I think if you're a certain age, you know him, and if you're not a certain age, you've never heard of him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Terry Thomas to me was all over the shop. When I was younger, it was almost like I put the telly on and there was a film of Terry Thomas on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'll have to have a think about that. You carry on. Think of one for
Right,
yourself.
I've got well, it's turned out to be quite strange obsession, really. I'm quite obsessed with the film Children of the Corn, and Arrow released. I've got it. It's up there. The there's I think there's three of them in that box set, and that I think those early three are quite good. But of course, it's one of those series that just carried on and on into sort of DVD hell, where they just carried on releasing straight to DVD releases. And I probably got about 10 of them. I've got all of these very loosely linked to Children of the Corn. It starts to get really silly, but for some reason, I just think, oh, I've got to have the whole lot. I love this film so much. I've got to have everything connected with it, and even the really bad ones. But there are some ones that have got good ideas. It's just some of the films that they never got proper cinema releases, as they wouldn't, straight to DVD.
Yeah.
But I still quite enjoy them in a way. I like the concept, and some of them they're quite ingenious what they do on a very limited low budget. But I've collected them, so I suppose you could consider that quite strange. I think I've got about 9 or 10 of them. There are most of them don't even get Blu-ray releases. It's just straight to DVD. But some of them it's strange. You get the odd one where you think, oh, that's on Blu-ray, which is quite funny. But getting something that's not very good, but it's just a strange quirk I have. I just collect anything connected with it. That's it. So that's my strange one.
I mean, I've got some TV stuff that's you'd think was really weird. I got into a big collection, sort of like addictive nature on a film studio called Filmation. I don't know if you ever heard of them.
Yeah.
So Filmation did the cartoons of things like He-Man.
Oh, right. Yeah.
They did Star Trek the animated series.
Oh, right, yeah.
And for some unknown reason, I suddenly got into a spate of going, oh, I want to collect all of their stuff.
Yeah.
And you could say that that's quite obscure because, you know, my friend Denny, he buys all that Bagpuss stuff and Thingamabob and Mr. Ben and all of that. And you could turn around and say, very, very, because it's very, very niche.
Yes, extremely. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But when it comes to film, I don't think anything is out there that's niche anymore. It's like nobody bats an eyelid that you go, yeah, I've bought the whole collection of this particular actor or actress or whatever it is anymore.
Yes,
because it's like, well, whatever rocks your boat, I mean. I've made it quite clear that I like Bette Midler. Bette Davis.
Yeah.
If you're going that far back, I like Bette Davis. But there's some people that will go, oh, Joan Crawford, all of this sort of stuff, and Marilyn Monroe's a niche, is an easy one to come out with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'll tell you, just changing the subject for a minute, I just want to know what other people's opinions are. What really offended me this week, I saw the trailer to The Naked Gun. You know, the Naked Gun, the Father's of Police Squad, the Leslie Nielsen.
Well, they're doing a remake, have they?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
And they brought the trailer out, and I'll tell you what, it was awful.
Really? Oh, dear.
Awful. And it just it basically made me wince because I really wanted to not have any negativity going into a film, especially one that's not even out yet. You know? And I saw this trailer, and I tell you what, it had this little girl going into a bank robbery. All of a sudden, it's sort of like Mission Impossible ripping off the mask, and suddenly, suddenly you got Frank Drebin Jr.'s or distant cousin, you know, there. And I thought, this is atrocious. Apart from the fact that you're seeing a full-grown man in a skirt. That suddenly that walked into the bank at 3'5" and then went out 6'2". It's really weird. Somebody's just knocking on my door, so I am going to have to just go and see my mother. All right.
Okay,
so
I'll carry on then on to the next one, and we'll. It's all right. Right. So let's have a look. So hopefully that might have answered your question a bit, Alan, about strange collections. Yeah. I don't know why we do it. I have no logical reason why we would do that. You know, I say Children of the Corn, I really love this film, but why I've carried on, I don't know. I don't know. Strange thing. Anyhow, we've got Tony saying, big fan of Terry Thomas, Alan. Yeah, great. It was always great, Terry Thomas. You know, it's somebody I always just remember seeing the films on TV and just enjoying him. Great. He really was. That's two of us then. Tony, laugh out loud. Through the Lens. Amazon are not in my good books right now. I pre-ordered a record months ago. They cancelled my pre-order, so the record is sold out. 4 months of waiting, and I didn't get it. That, in a way, that is typical of Amazon with the pre-orders. It's what can you say about them? Have you tried HMV? There might be a chance that they might have it and not sold out. In fact, to be honest, now I order a lot more through HMV than Amazon. If any sort of new releases, Amazon, I tend to use them for older releases, old sort of films and what have you. But new releases, Amazon are not always that good at getting them on time as well. It's like the Doctor Who collection, which I, collect. That, when it comes out, I never go through Amazon. I always go through HMV and order it on HMV perhaps a few days before the deadline, and I still get it. Sometimes really quite early, or just similar time as it's officially released. Amazon, people always seem to have to wait. They're always complaining when they put in their orders. So that experience, I think, is happening to a lot of people. I would, if you're going to pre-order, try HMV. I would say, give them a good chance. Yeah, I mean, it is annoying if it's if you can't get it anymore. Say it's sold out. Will they release any more of that? Even if it's been sold out, will they sort of, press some more? Or is that it totally? I don't know. I just thought if it sold out really quickly, then it's showing that there's a demand, and they could press some more. Maybe at HMV they're not sold out. I say, I don't know. I would check HMV, but I can see your point. I don't trust Amazon at all. I don't trust them, really, for pre-orders. Yeah. So that's just my opinion. I'm sure Delboy's got a bit more opinion about that and similar experiences with them. A lot of people have been very negative towards Amazon because these kind of things are happening. Yeah, that's not good. And We Bob Art says Amazon are ruthless with sellers on their platform, which makes everyone complain almost like a death nail in the seller's reputation. My friend had a business through them, but the stress he was under was terrible based on how Amazon expects sellers to react. Really, that is bad. It's I think it is bad. They need to look at themselves a lot more. I really do. They need to get their house in order. It's supposedly, what they know, in fact, that a lot of people go through Amazon. It's one of the main stopping places. And my experiences with HMV have been so much more positive. So I tend to go to HMV now. It's only for if I'm searching for older, say DVDs or even some Blu-rays that I might go to Amazon. And often you find that they're out of print, but you can sometimes go on say eBay and find the items, and they're not that expensive, because normally when I see those dreadful words out of print, you think, it's going to be expensive on eBay, and it is quite often, but sometimes it isn't. I've had experiences where I think, so it's always worth checking and looking around. World of Books, Music Magpie, always worth having a look if they've got some of these releases which they say you can't get hold of, because often you can. And Through the Lens says, I watched the Microcraft movie today, and geez, what a sludge fest. Laugh out loud. I don't recommend it, fellas. I'm not a gamer, so it's not the sort of film I would watch. I'm sure Delboy possibly will have opinion on that film. I know it's all I know about. I have heard Minecraft. It's as far as I know, is some popular game, but I'm not a gamer. I know absolutely nothing about it, really. And then, have you got Grace Jones hiding behind that backdrop? Yeah, crikey, I wouldn't have her hanging around, but crikey, yeah, she would be lethal, definitely. We don't want Grace Jones jumping on you. It could be fatal. Yes, and to your sanity as well. Yeah. Oh God, what a nightmare Grace Jones is. You almost feel that she's playing how she really is. It's just, you imagine her in real life being like that. It's not acting.
I think I'm all right for 15 minutes.
All right. Have you seen this? I'll have to give you this comment. I'll give you two comments, because there's one I didn't. There's this one he's put. Is Tony saying to you, have you got Grace Jones hiding behind the backdrop, Del?
She's actually behind my chair.
And the other one,
Grace, I told you later on.
Dear. And the other one was from Josh, and you'll know. I know nothing about this, but you know a lot more about it. It says, I watched the Minecraft movie today, and geez, what a sludge fest! A laugh out loud. Yeah. I don't recommend it, fellas. So that's a gaming film, isn't it?
Well, what it is, Minecraft is an absolute phenomenon, because it was a one-man coded game that the guy basically sold to Microsoft for billions. He retired. Yeah, and he wrote one game and then retired. That's it.
That's all right.
And it really is. It takes you back to the days of when you had Lego.
Oh.
Because that you see that background behind you. If you think about it, you could make that whole background there of James Bond out of Lego.
Yeah.
From a distance, it would look like that, but when you get up close, it would look like Lego bricks.
Right.
So what this guy's done, what this guy did is he set it as a survival game. In other words, you ended up in this land. You have no idea how you got there, what you know, what it's all about. All you see is sea, the beach, green areas, trees. That's it, right? And as you keep playing the game, you learn things like if you chop down trees, you get wood. If you put wood and bone together, you get an axe. If you put bone and if you get an axe made out of bone and you tunneled into gravel, you might find concrete, and then you can make a stone axe. And see what I mean? So it's that. But what I'm trying to say is, how do you make a film out of that? That's like watching a Bear Grylls documentary, right? So how you make a film out of that, I don't know.
No.
So yeah, I'm not looking forward to it. I thought it was a bad idea from the very start, and I'm trying to be not negative. I haven't seen it, so I'm not going to pass judgment. But I don't have high expectations is the best way to look at it.
Yeah.
How can I have high expectations for something that doesn't even have a plot in the game?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, most games have got a little plot, you know.
Yeah.
Guide Sonic to collect all these rings and destroy Dr. Robotnik, right?
Yeah.
In Minecraft, you've landed on an island, and at night, these creepy crawlers come out and try and kill you. That's it.
That's the plot. Yeah.
That's the plot.
Yeah.
Well, that could be anything, couldn't it? That could be you going out at night and trying to get a number 1 bus into town.
Yeah.
That's the same plot.
Yeah.
You know, the sun goes down, it's at night, and all these weirdos try to bloody nick your handbag or something, right? That's a general occurrence in the middle of London, isn't it? That so how is it really a film with Jack Black in? You know what I mean?
Boy.
No idea.
Yeah. Let's see. Alan says, you would have to pay me to watch it. Laugh out loud. Yeah. And then through the line, Josh says, one I do recommend is Magazine Dreams, a film I saw yesterday and made a review on. Wow, what an experience. Features one of my best performances I've seen in years. Wow. Well, that sounds interesting.
You see, this is the thing. I would never have heard of that film, Magazine Dreams. And the thing he says about it, he says it says features one of the best performances.
Yeah.
Of who? What actor? What actress? Yeah. You see, I'm intrigued. I want to know now. This is how Josh gets me, because he does that every time. It's like, well, bloody hell, man! What actress? What the friggin' hell? What's it about? What? So now I want to know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So.
Wee Bob Art, I can't wait to see the Minecraft movie, but I'm a big kid. There you are.
You see, I can see a lot of kids wanting to see it.
Yeah.
All the kids have played Minecraft to death. They know it inside and out. It's like, oh my God, let's see the Hollywood special effects version of Minecraft. You know, Minecraft is really rudimentary graphics at best. It's blocks, made up of blocks. That's what it is, right?
Yeah.
And you can imagine Hollywood-fied, those blocks suddenly look gorgeous. You know, these greens have suddenly got multicolored green hues to them and all of this sort of stuff. And I don't know what the plot is. Maybe they put a good plot around it. Don't know. I know next to nothing about it. All I'm saying to you is the game had no plot.
Yeah.
So I don't know how you make a plot of something that doesn't have a plot.
Right. Now, this is, I wonder what you think about this one. Sai says, I went to see a special screening of Empire Records yesterday. It was the 30th anniversary of Rex Manning Day. If you've seen the film, you'll get it. No idea. I have no idea what Empire Records is.
30 years ago. Let's have a look. That's 1995.
I don't remember it at all.
No.
Anyhow, other people I think do. It's just, and we've got Jim Jam Movies and TV. Good evening, gentlemen. Hello, Jim Jam. Welcome.
Hello.
And Bob Art says, love Empire Records. A very nostalgic movie for me. And I used to own the soundtrack on CD. Liv Tyler, always worth a watch in my world. So, I
know of Empire Records.
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
I don't know it. I've never heard it.
Did Empire Records start off 30 years ago? Because I thought Empire Records was years back. Like Tower Records.
Yeah. And Weeboat says, good evening, Jim Jam. Yeah. Tony says, evening, James. Weeboat, I watch Era is Novocaine new 2025 movie. Really enjoyed it. Sort of turn off your brain movie. Felt low budgetish and baddies, not scary enough, but it was a decent watch. Yeah, there's a lot of films like that nowadays. There seems to be.
I'll be back in a minute. The nurse is leaving now, so just
okay. Yep, that's all right. Yeah. You know, I get that so much now. It kind of, it's sort of doesn't put me off, but it, you know, my expectations get lower when I see new releases now. Expectations because of these kind of films that you watch, and you think, oh no, yeah. That's what's happened, I think, sometimes now. Hopefully, we get some good films, and then you think, yes. But when I saw Opus, you know, it just kind of made depressed me in that sense that, it's another of these films again. Yeah. I don't know what it is. It's just something there. You sense it, and there it is. Expectations get lower and lower. Tony says, nice early mini jibe there, Del. Yeah. He's got, you're all right, Tony. He's gone now. Yeah. Becoming Led Zeppelin is brilliant, Ian. I went to see it on IMAX when it got a limited cinema release. The second setup felt like a full body massage, especially when Bonham and JPG kicked in. Oh wow! I can't wait to see more of that. The first documentary the first part was fantastic. It made me realize how good music was. You know, a band playing fantastic music together. You know, none of this studio stuff where people are not playing the instruments, and a proper band. You know, absolutely fantastic. Proper musicians, great albums. It made me immediately want to start playing the Led Zeppelin albums I've got in my collection, and also get ones that I haven't got, because I've got all the studio albums, but I haven't actually got that anthology, and I think I need to get that. Definitely need to get that, and pick up. I think the DVD you can probably pick up quite cheap, so I must do that. I'll probably do that this week, hopefully, because I think they're quite cheap now. But yeah, great documentary, and really made me enthusiastic and loving music, proper music from a proper band. You can't beat it. Absolutely loved it. The Bear is on Disney. If it's the chef one, I presume it is. That's all I saw. I was just reading about that actress, and I think it is that one. I've never seen it. I don't know whether it's good, or I think some people really rate it highly. Yeah, but I've never seen it. And it's Jamie, Monkman Movies. Good evening, Mr. Ramblings. Good evening, Mr. Boy. Well, Well, welcome, Jamie. And Jamie says, good evening, everyone else. Weebo evening, Muckman, Sai, A Muckman, and Tony. Evening, Jamie. How did you like March or Die? And Sai says, who's looking forward to Superman? I'm really looking forward to seeing on the biggest screen IMAX. I hope it lives up to what it should do. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah. I think Superman would be great. We need a good version of it, and hopefully it will be. Yeah, we've had so many disappointments with all these films recently. Well, not recently. I say over the last year or so. So hopefully it's going to bring back that good vibe and good feel that we want from these kind of films, because all these bad films are putting people off these superhero films, but Superman, I think, it's a bit different. It's something that people really like and enjoy, Superman. So I think hopefully it'll be good. And so I said, also, Delboy, are you looking forward to F1? Oh yeah, he's into that. It's not my thing, but he probably is Formula One. I know he's a big fan. Muckman was really enjoyed March or Died on it. It was like Full Metal Jacket crossed with Zulu. I like that explanation. That's good. Alan says, what was the last black and white film you bought or watched? I did buy and watch Brighton Rock today, 1948. Brighton Rock. Oh, wow. What a film. Yes. Oh, absolutely fantastic. And of course, it's got Richard Attenborough in it. You can't go wrong with Richard Attenborough. To be honest, black and white films I watch all the time. They never bother me. I never even think about that. I just watch a film, and I do watch quite a lot of older films as well, and so it's never an issue at all. And even modern films in black and white, it doesn't bother me at all. I don't see any distinction. I just see the film, and some films really benefit from black and white. I think one of the most famous films that actually benefit from the black and white is Elephant Man. I mean, Elephant Man won't be the same if it just totally elevates it as a film. Elephant Man, the black and white, the way it is. So it never bothers me at all. I never see any distinction. I watch a lot of black and white films. So I don't see I like film. I always say that. It doesn't matter what it is. I like it. So have you got opinion on that, Delboy?
Black and white films. It really annoys me when people turn around and say, I can't watch that. It's got no color in it.
Yeah.
No,
exactly.
I suppose it's because I was the earliest memory I've got of even watching television was the turning from black and white to color, I suppose. And when in the early days of the 70s, they were still showing black and white stuff all the time because color was still quite new. You know what I mean? So repeats were repeats of stuff that would have been filmed in black and white. And Doctor Who was black and white for like 8 years, 7 years before it went color. Twilight Zone, which is my favorite all-time TV show, is a totally black and white production. You know what I mean? Yeah. So was The Outer Limits, the very early ones. And as you know, my mum and my dad and I laughed out loud to Laurel and Hardy. And even when I was getting from school, I was watching Harold Lloyd films and stuff like that. So black and white to me has immense power. Black and white. If you think about it, there is no way that that you can beat black and white when it comes to light and shadow. Right?
Mm-hmm.
You could do an awful lot with color, and color looks wonderful. But if you ask a photographer, which do you prefer? Do you prefer filming in black and white or color? You know, for taking stills, there's still a huge amount of the old regime that would turn around and say black and white film is gorgeous, and they'll show you all these pictures, and there'll be pictures of trees, and the shadows that you get from a tree in black and white is absolutely gorgeous. You show it in color and you go, well, that just looks like a Polaroid snap.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You can do an awful lot, but I've got no problem with black and white or color. And if I don't ever turn around and say my personal preference is, I like them both equally.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is I don't have a het up about either of it.
No.
I like them both equally, to be quite honest.
To be honest, for me, it's not even an issue. I don't think about it. I'm watching a film.
But it says there, what was the last black and white film you bought or watched? Because I watch so much.
Yeah, well, mine's today. I watched the French one. This one.
Oh, yeah. But I watch a lot of stuff at night, and I watch things like Rewind TV and Legends. They've all got black and white.
Yeah.
If you turn the telly on, right? If no word of a lie, if you turn the telly on at 6:10 on Rewind TV, they're showing Flash Gordon conquers the world.
Yeah.
Black and white, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the crab, isn't it? I mean, black and white. What more can you say? You know.
Yeah. Fantastic. Yeah.
But the last thing I probably watched was Muckman's suggestion. It was probably Seventh Samurai.
Yeah.
But I watch a lot. I watch 12 Angry Men. I watch Laurel and Hardy films, like I said. The early Norman Wisdom films, the early Carry On films. I could go on and on.
Yeah, it's not an issue. I can guarantee every week I'm watching black and white.
I'll tell you what. 3 days ago, I watched The Incredible Shrinking Man. There you are.
Yeah,
that's black and white.
Yeah. I just watch films, and they happen to be black and white or color. It doesn't matter. And a lot of my collection is there are quite a lot of black and white films in it. Yeah.
I just don't have a headache over it.
I don't. I know that sometimes it's been said that a lot of younger people don't like black and white for whatever reason. I don't understand that, but that's.
I dare say it's an age thing. Like I said, I've grown up watching Hancock's Half Hour, watching
But there's still directors who produce films in black and white because for them it's something that they want, like for a particular reason. It's something that'll carry on being produced. I think black and white will ever stop.
Just look at Bela Lugosi's Dracula, the Universal horror, and the Bride of Frankenstein. And all of that sort of stuff in black and white. Just look at the detail in that film.
Yeah,
it is gorgeous.
Yeah,
in black and white.
And look how the new Nosferatu is in black and white, and look how good that is. Look how beautiful. Actually, look how beautiful it is. It looks absolutely beautiful. And that's the best way to film that. It just works. Actually, I know this might be heresy. I think the remake is better than the original.
I mean, there are modern films. Take it like this. I don't remember anybody really turning around and saying The Lighthouse. They were put off by going to see it because it was black and white.
No.
The Lighthouse was a shock find for me. I went to the pictures. I didn't even know it was black and white. I just thought The Lighthouse. That sounds intriguing.
I don't think people were expecting what they got.
It was on, and I just went. Well, I just turned around and went, well, this is a great film. I didn't even think it was black and white.
Yes. Yeah. That was a shock, I think, to many people, that film. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So, anyhow, Brighton Rock, great film.
Oh
Absolutely wonderful film. It's the Tony York corner. Oh, Tony's getting it.
What has he
Legion
suddenly got a line of food or something called the Tony York corner? He's trying to get into the Muller like corner thing bracket. Is he trying to corner the market in something else?
Anyway, he says, I enjoy Foreign Legion films, Jamie. I think March or Die is my favorite. Yeah. And I have the Jean-Pierre Melville box set. Army of Shadows is excellent. Yeah, I'd like to get around to watching that, because that one that I watched was absolutely wonderful. Absolutely loved it. A French gangster film. Brilliant. Tony York, I have that box set, Jamie. Really enjoyed his films. Yeah. The Circle. Yeah, I've got that one.
Coming to an Ian Rambling's house probably by next year.
Too. Yeah, it is. That's a brilliant one. I've got that one. Yeah. Alan Fox, the last black and white film I watched was 12 Angry Men, which somebody else mentioned.
Yeah, it's a classic. 12 Angry Men is a classic. I mean,
yeah. And Alan Fox says, that's good at sci-fi. Sally Robson. Question, Delboy. I'm still getting a lot of feedback playing my Mega Drive. Do you think it could be the HDMI adapter that's dodgy? I might send it back. Well, there's a question for you. And what you have
to understand with original hardware like a Mega Drive, there was no such thing as HDMI around. So when you buy an adapter, what you're asking it to do is turn old frequencies into new frequencies. Do you see what I mean? So it could well be that the adapter is at fault, but what I would do in a situation like his is I would probably go on YouTube and type in the name of the adapter that he's bought. He might have bought something called a York HDMI adapter or something like that. I have no idea. And somebody else might have had the same problem. You see what I mean? Yeah. There are so many HDMI adapters out there that I'm not quite sure which adapter he's using, what brand of TV he's using, etc., etc. Personally, if HDMI is all he's got at the back of his telly, then he's got no choice but to find a solution that works for his particular console, right? But there are ways that you can connect old technology to new technology by using halfway things, right? Now I've got something here called an ESCU. I'll write it down in the chat. It's ESCU, right? ESCU. There we are. And I've got a capture device called a mirror box. There we are, mirror box 4K capture. Right? Capture, there we are. So I put it in the chat. Now, the reason I mention those is he could buy a capture card and go through that capture card, and then the capture card goes through his telly, and even though he's not going to use it to capture any video whatsoever, it could be the bridge that gives him what he needs, because the capture card would act as the adapter. So that's another way of looking at it. I play some of my old consoles by going through a capture device, as if I'm going to capture it for YouTube. But I'm not actually going to capture it for YouTube. It's just so I can play it on a modern monitor. So that's another way of looking at it. But I don't want to go too deep. So I'm according to that, Muckman sent me a picture. So I'm going to look at the photo and I'm going to come back with a handcrafted reply just for Muckman. How's that? Right? You're going to get a Delboy handcrafted answer.
An original.
Hey, a handcrafted answer. Do you know people pay me for that? Right? You know what I mean? Okay, they pay me in sausage rolls, but I mean, what I'm trying to say is, right? I get paid for this. You know what I mean? No, I'll look at that after this. If it's not too late tonight, I'll look at it, Jamie, and come back to you. Yeah. Next.
Right. Okay, we've got Sai saying, and I'm going to watch a special black and white screening of Godzilla -1.
I've got that.
Yeah.
I wish I'd have seen that at the cinema, the black and white version. I only saw the normal Godzilla -1 at the cinema. I'm so glad I've got the black and white one though, and I'm just intrigued. There's a lot of things like Mad Max that have come out on 4K that you can buy a black and white edition and you get a color edition. What do people think of the black and white version after they've seen the color version? Do they think it adds or takes away, or it's a waste of time? What do people think of that? Because I know that Mad Max Furiosa Road is got a black and white edition.
If you have the alternative, do you watch them? An example for me, and I've not watched it, is Parasite. There was an alternative black and white version of that, but I must admit I didn't watch it. I haven't seen it. I mean,
so I'm just wondering, do you think it's a waste of time? I mean, personally, I watch both.
Yeah.
When the Doctor Who's come out in the animation,
I
watched the color one, and I watched the black and white ones.
Yeah. Well, if it's originally in black and white story or a Hartnell or a Troughton, then it has to be black and white for me.
Yeah, but I will watch the color one of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'd rather watch the black and white than the color. I know it seems strange, but yeah.
And I'll tell you what, if I get another alert telling me that the bloody War Games has been put back by a week or whatever it is, I'll tell you.
I wonder why that is.
I know it's just that I got an alert saying we now have a date for Doctor Who the War Games, right? Then it said we've now got a new date for Doctor Who the War Games. Then I got an alert the next week that said BBC have now told us that it's going to be put back by another week for Doctor Who the War Games, right? And I'm going, why has it changed 3 times, this damn thing, in the last 3 weeks? What's going on?
Oh dear.
It must be something to do with the mastering or something. It's got to be, I would have thought. I have no idea.
Jamie says, by the way, what was in the box I sent you, Delboy?
Yes, I've already answered. Look, if you look further down, look.
Yeah. Okay. So look further down. Tony says, Ian, if you enjoyed the Melville film, I should watch Dieu me Souffle that came with Dulos. I prefer it personally. Lino Ventura is a good actor. It sounds good. I really enjoyed it, so I'd be definitely interested in looking at that. If it's amongst those, I will have a look. Yeah, definitely. There it is that you said about for Muckman.
I'll just explain.
As Muckman was in the box. Oh,
I was going to say Muckman was really, really nice. He went on holiday. I don't know if you noticed this, right? But he's so rich, right? He went abroad, right, on holiday. And he brought me back a gift, right? And he sent it to me. The cheap bastard sent it second class, but I don't want to say anything about that, because cheap git second class. Why was it sent first class, you miserable bastard? Right, anyway. So it's arrived, and I've been trying to get round to opening it, but I thought to myself, you know what? No, I'll actually do a video of it. I mean, when I don't get many things sent to me, Tony York, I don't get things sent to me, right? So I thought I'd do a special just to show how appreciative I am that Muckman Movies has sent me a gift. There you are.
There you are. And he's put a thumb up there. And then Le Samurai is one of my favorite Melville films. Oh, right. Okay, I've checked them out. They're really good. Tony says, Alan, I've too many black and white films to be able to remember which was the last. Yeah, I know you have. Why not?
I'll tell you what, here's a top tip. Here's a top tip for you, right?
Yeah.
Every film can be black and white. All you got to do is turn your telly color down.
Guns at Batsy was the last black and white film I watched. Yeah, I got that. I got the Blu-ray of that one. Absolutely loved it. Absolutely wonderful film. Si says there's a World War II film starring Burt Lancaster that I've always wanted to watch but never got around to. It's The Train. I always forget to put it on. Yeah, well, put it on. Watch it. It's great. Burt Lancaster is so good. I don't realize how good he is, and the whole concept of the film is great. Absolutely love the film. Tony says, thanks, Del. Always appreciated your mum's disapproval. Made me laugh. Yes.
Did Burt Lancaster do a film in the 80s with Kirk Douglas, like a gangstery thing?
Oh, yes, it did.
And didn't he get panned?
Yeah, it did. I forgot what it's called, but you're right. It did get absolutely panned. But it seemed a great combination of those two. Yeah. Because he carried on. He had quite a career, didn't he, Burt Lancaster?
Yeah, he did.
Which was great to see. Right. Yeah. So look. The Train is great. I have the Arrow Academy Blu-ray. Oh, yeah. I think Une Flic is my favorite Melville, Jamie. Alain Delon. I love saying Alain Delon. With Catherine Deneuve. Oh, I'm on board all straight away. And Richard Crenna.
Richard Crenna. Yeah. Wow.
Catherine Deneuve. Wow. And Alain Delon. What else can you say? Brilliant. Muckman says Burt Lancaster is one of my favorite actors of yesteryear. Yeah, his filmography is amazing. Absolutely. Muckman movies. I watched that the other year, was okay, but my favorite, The Heist on the Train, is a very strange sequence using miniatures, almost hilarious. So, here we are. I'll just continue. Best last ages, thanks to your mum's verbal abuse of me, Del.
My mum thanks you.
Yeah. Laugh out loud. I've sent my Nosferatu steelbook back. Oh, another damaged one, is it?
Heathen. Are you telling me? Hang on, Ian. Are you telling me you didn't watch his video of his steelbook listings and the fact that he got his Nosferatu out and he showed publicly that he got a dent in it?
Yes. Yeah. I know. But
I tell you what, I was so upset for him. I went, oh shit.
I feel sorry for a lot of people with the steelbooks because sometimes they don't see the damage right until the end, virtually, and they're there, and they're loving the steelbook. It's fantastic, and then it's so sad when, oh no, there's a big mark or something or dent, and it's sad, really.
Yeah. I'm just going to ask you a question, Ian, just before we go forward. Next week is Easter bank holiday.
All right.
Is there any films that you've pre-lined up to watch, like The Robe or anything like that?
No,
You know,
to be honest, I haven't thought about it this year, but that is the kind of film I would probably try and watch, or an epic.
it was really weird. I was flicking through the channels, right, and already they're showing Jesus of Nazareth, right?
Yeah, I can imagine. Like the Ten Commandments is or something like that is worth watching. I don't know. I haven't thought about that really. I must be honest. I don't sort of think as much at Easter about films as I do at Christmas. Christmas is.
Oh come on! You've got to watch Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, haven't you?
I watch it at Christmas. But I could watch it again. I could easily fit it in. I'm sure I could force myself to watch Chitty Bang Bang again. In fact, you're right.
I'll tell you what. The reason I asked you that question, right, is I've watched no end of religious type films through the years, right, and I'm just wondering if you might have watched one that was obscure that I haven't seen.
I think I've watched. Is it Barabbas? Have you seen that one?
Yeah.
See, there you are. You've seen most of them. I've seen Ten Commandments. I've seen the Bible, which I bought and was very disappointed with.
The greatest story ever told.
Yeah, I've seen them.
Even Samson and you know that with that Tony Ventura or whatever.
Mature. Is that the Victor Mature one?
Victor Mature one, yeah.
Yeah. There's never many modern ones, is it? I suppose you could say The Last Temptation of Christ.
I tell you what, I might watch. I've always got round to watching Ben-Hur, but I might watch the 1930s Ben-Hur. You know?
Oh, that would be interesting. Yeah. Ben-Hur. That is. Oh, yeah. You're making me think that I should watch that again. It's one of the best, isn't it?
Well, the thing I like about it is it's a good excuse to watch 3.5 hours worth of film.
Yeah. I don't know. I like Charlton Heston anyhow, so it's a no-brainer, that, isn't it? I don't know. I haven't decided yet. I haven't thought about it, but I'll have a think about that.
There's an interesting YouTube documentary on Ben-Hur. It came out 2 or 3 days ago. It said, why is Ben-Hur still immaculate to look at now as it was back then?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
All it basically said was it's amazing that it's like 66 years ago or whatever it was. Right?
Yeah.
And it came out, right. And it talks about, and what I didn't realize was, did you know that the film salvation is water? Did you know that?
No.
So in the film, whenever you see water,
yeah,
that is what they call the salvation moment, right? So when Ben-Hur is giving water to some of the slavers, that's water. When you'll see at one point, he tries to give Jesus carrying
that's right. That's
water, and he fails, and he failed.
Yeah.
And then the actual salvation is that Christ is carried to the cave with it raining.
Yes. Yeah.
All about the whole film is about water.
Yeah, and they're all cured of leprosy.
Yeah,
when they're in a leper colony.
Words, there is a double ending in it because the cure is water, and that's what the leprosy is. It's actually the cure is water.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that. I went, how many times have I watched that film and I've not realized that the salvation moment of the film is water?
Yeah. Because that at the end is such a climax, and you're right, it all fits together now. That's an interesting observation.
If you look at the beats of the film, you will see so many times water being given, right? And apparently that is the beats of the film. You have to watch that till the end, where water is the cure.
That's right. Yeah. Fantastic film. Have you seen it on the big screen?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I saw an anniversary edition.
Yeah, I loved watching it. And my mum
I'll tell you what it was. It was the year after it was restored.
Yeah.
Is when I saw it. It was given an international re-release as a restoration of the film celebration. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, what a film. Anyhow, let's carry on. That was the worst part, I think, Jamie. I thought your animal porn collection would have been stranger than B movies collection. Delboy. Oh God. No, I think I'd rather not go near
You
there.
see, he only mentions that because he wants to borrow them.
Oh dear, that's sick stuff. God. I think the words bounder and cad were invented for Terry Thomas. That's right. Yes, that's so true. Josh says, I bought 2 Mumbai titles last week, The Substance and Bird. 2 more films I love. The Mumbai collections are wonderful. Need to get Beanpo and Bakaru as part of the set. Yeah, well, they are a good. They're now regularly releasing these quality releases. I mean, The Substance, you can't really argue over. It's such a great film. Apart from that just stupid bit at the end, but that I can get over that. Alan says, among my movies, heck man, I thought this was family friendly. My daughter is watching and reading with me. Oh dear. We're always family friendly here, aren't we? Have you got bored by Mumbai?
Hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. How can it be family friendly with me ranting every 10 minutes and calling everybody a bastard?
Well, it's reasonably family friendly, even with a Delboy rant. You know,
can I just say I'm so sorry, young little girl, that you've heard me say bastard a lot. I don't mean to. I'm driven to it by the audience.
Yeah.
They make me say it.
If somebody was to count the number of times he says it, well, it's a hell of a lot. Imagine how many he says in a year on these live streams. God, it'd be.
Should we have that as a competition?
Yeah. Oh dear. Right. Let's see. I wish they would release Debbie Does Dallas and Deep Throat to 4K. Dear me.
Is this kid still watching?
Yeah, I don't know. It's funny, that film, Debbie Does Dallas, is the most mentioned porn film going, isn't it? It's the one that everybody with Deep Throat. I think they must have been the first 2 that had a big release on physical media. Whenever someone mentions Terry Thomas, I, for some reason, think of Dick Dastardly. Oh, it must be a pencil mustache thing. Oh, yeah.
Didn't Hanna-Barbera actually say that Terry Thomas was a heavy influence on Dick
Really?
Dastardly?
Wow. Ah, I can see it. Yeah. Muckman's Alan. Oops. Sorry. Simos, I'm loving the new profile picture.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm known to lower the tone. Oh, all right, Jeremy. Alan, make sure to cover your daughter's ears when Delboy goes on one of his rants. There we are. Yeah.
I was going to say, I started off early. It was like 10 minutes in.
Yeah.
I feel bad now.
Tony, I was looking at a Mumbai film called First Cow. Was set in early 19th century Oregon. Anybody seen it? I've not seen it. I don't know if I don't know. I don't know anything about it really. Has anybody seen it? Has Josh seen it? I don't know. And then Si says, "What's everyone's thoughts on the Police Squad trailer? You mentioned about that, didn't you?
Yeah.
I've not seen it, but it sounds like a complete travesty."
Well, I didn't like it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try and be optimistic. I actually mentioned it in another stream. I actually turned around and said, I've just watched. Yeah, that was right. I went to my friend's 20th Century Gaming stream, and I just it just announced. He said, "Oh, I'm going to do a stream in 10 minutes." And while I was waiting for him to set up the camera so that he could start his stream off, this alert came up saying, "And now the newly launched Police Squad trailer." And I just watched it and went, "Oh my God, it's awful."
Oh. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's perhaps not a good idea to watch these trailers if they're going to put you off the film.
Well, like I said, we've talked about trailers before, haven't we? We've talked about the fact that certain trailers go too far, go too much.
Yeah.
Some are very cryptic and actually make you believe it's something that it's not. And then when you go in and see it, you're disappointed because you think it was going to be this and it wasn't.
Yeah.
And all of that sort of stuff. To be quite honest, I don't understand why we've lost the ability to make a good trailer when we made so many good ones all the way through the 60s, 70s, and 80s.
Yeah.
All you got to do really is look at those trailers that were made then and mimic them.
Yeah, that's it.
I would not have a clue what North by Northwest is about by watching the North by Northwest trailer.
Yeah.
And I would still want to go and see it.
Yeah. One of the things I enjoy about your blog, incidentally, it's blog. Please, if you've not subscribed to Delboy, please subscribe to Delboy. I've put his link in the description, and please go and see it. And his blog is one part of his channel, and the blog is excellent. And I was just going to mention that the blog has these trailers at the end. I always think they're wonderful. I love watching the trailers. I understand with recent events that have happened recently, he's not been able to do as many. But this week he did put some on. And when you watch a trailer, it's a real nostalgic thing because a lot of the trailers are showing are old films. And it's wonderful. I love that nostalgic feel when you watch an old trailer. In many ways, better than modern trailers. There's something about it, isn't there? Don't you get that tingle, that excitement, and you think, "Oh,
I do."
Fantastic.
I really like showing off trailers. I like, at the end of the day, if it gets somebody excited or somebody goes, "Oh, I remember that trailer from the 80s." From the 80s, bloody hell, that was great.
It's great, wonderful. And
marvelous, really.
It is the way they put them together. I like it when a trailer gives you a little bit, but not too much.
Yeah,
because then you anticipate. It's better than when you get the opposite. You either get one that's giving everything away, or one that gives you note. It's trying to be clever, and it'll show like a hat or something, and you're going, "Oh yeah, I'm really looking forward to watching a hat." A good example would be, say, Superman or something. They'd show his cape, and that'd be the trailer.
Oh yeah.
Well, I want a bit more than that, please.
Actually, it's funny you've mentioned Superman. Superman trailer was all over YouTube a week ago.
Yeah,
I couldn't move but see somebody talking about the Superman trailer,
analyzing every single bit, every frame of the Superman.
I swear there was somebody that turned around and said the 86 Easter eggs that I saw in the Superman trailer sneak peek. You sad individual! You found
clickbait. It is, isn't it? It's real fanatics. Yeah.
86 Easter eggs. You're having a laugh.
What a load of tosh. I'm sure they're reading.
Can't you just watch it and go, "That looked good"? I'll quite look forward to seeing that.
Yeah,
film now.
oh, look, somebody's just walked by in the background. Now, that is a significant part of the film. And you're going, what a load of tosh. What a load of rubbish. Yeah. Anyhow, that's how they do.
By the way, are you excited over the Superman trailer?
I'll be honest, I've given up being excited over films being released because I've been so disappointed recently. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I want it to be good. We want something good, and we just hope that it is good. We've been so disappointed with some of these releases. It would be so good to have something that we all get, wow, that's exciting and that's good. Getting positive.
I think you see, to me, and I don't want to put a downer on things. I don't think there will ever be the excitement ever return.
To
when Christopher Reeve took over Superman.
I agree.
I was so excited to want to see that film.
Yeah.
And when I saw it, I wasn't disappointed. It was like, oh wow.
Yeah. I remember that.
And I can even see myself. I can even see myself buying the Starburst magazine with the front cover with Superman looking like this at the front cover.
Yeah.
I remember buying the double album that was the soundtrack.
Yeah.
I remember buying the Panini sticker album and getting the stickers and putting them in the white squares.
Stickers. Yeah.
You know, so I had a folded book of all of with pictures of all of the film.
Fantastic.
And it was almost like my whole summer was taken up with getting Superman something or other.
Yeah. And it didn't disappoint. When I went to the cinema, I thought, wow, this is fantastic. I've seen no like it for many years. It was exciting times to see that film. Absolutely exciting. Loved it.
I mean, at the end of the day, if you want my opinion, I saw the Superman trailer. I'm not excited.
No.
But I know it's going to be I think it's going to be a high profile and probably quite a good film.
Yeah.
The things I don't like about it, and this is not to show criticism far too early. It's just that I don't see the point in having things like the super dog in it.
Oh, they've got that, have they?
It starts off with Superman crashing down in the middle of the Antarctic or whatever it is, and Superman is so damaged that he whistles, and suddenly a bloody dog comes along and drags him to the Fortress of Solitude in this trailer, and I'm going, so what are you trying to tell me? Are you telling me that the whole Superman family is in this bloody film or something? We're going to have Supergirl, Super Dog, Superman. Because if it is, I'm not really that taken by it, because I don't need a super dog.
Yeah.
In a film, I don't need to see a white terrier with a cape.
No. That's,
you know what I mean.
Cringy that, I think.
And I can understand that one way of looking at a modern audience and having the kids go, oh, look, there's a super dog.
Oh, how cute.
But from my point of view, I'm going,
oh no, it's horrible.
From my point of view, you might as well have put a cape on Skippy and bloody have it.
Yeah.
Go to the Fortress of Solitude, because you've basically switched me off in the first minute of watching this trailer.
And exactly, it would me. What you've just said has just put me right off the blooming film. You've just said it all.
You know what I mean?
I haven't seen the trailer.
So I don't want to put people off. It's just that I just looked at it and I went, "Oh, come on, there's a super dog."
No, please, please, no, no, please. Anyhow,
can you imagine Christopher Reeve with a super dog?
Yeah, exactly. It's no. So Jamie says, yes, I owned First Cow, but sold it. Enjoyed it, but didn't think I'd have the urge to watch it again. Yeah, I know what you mean doing that now increasingly. If you're never going to watch it, why have it in the collection? Again, Cy Robson, excuse me, is working on one for Delboy. Oh, right. I saw that, you see, Cy, Liam Neeson on his hands and knees. Oh, great. No. Sorry, The Naked Gun.
Oh, right. Okay.
Not seen the trailer for Naked Gun yet, Jamie says. I watched Top Secret this week. What a great comedy. Loved revisiting it after decades.
And you know what? I watched McMahon's movie where he actually did a Val Kilmer dedication at the end.
That's
And I've
right,
forgotten all about Top Secret. And I looked through my collection and I've got Top Secret. I'm going to watch it as well.
Yeah.
I forgot I had it. I've only got it on DVD.
Yeah.
I'm going to watch it.
Good. Excellent. Sorry, so Stephen Wells, will it be in 480 like the picture Ian uses? Was that Ian? No, yeah, well, I can't do it very well. I don't know what I'm doing. It annoys me every week I have to do it, but there we are. Cy Robson, yep. Top Secret is so funny. I love the bit when the little guy jumps on the grenade to save everyone, but they end up getting blown up.
Yeah.
I like the cow in Wellies. Oh, right.
I've forgotten that.
Yeah. Toby Jones is usually good, Jamie. He's in First Cow, I think. Oh, yeah, Toby Jones is good. That animated Predator movie looks good. Yeah, I've heard people talking about that one.
Yeah.
James says, I feel that I could watch Top Secret again and pick out jokes I hadn't noticed. It's that clever. Yeah.
Yeah, it really is like a Zucker film, you know, like an airplane and a naked gun. I mean, it's sight and slapstick gags, you know. I mean, if you've ever watched you know, the Files of Police Squad, you know, there's just a panning shot of Drebin going across a crime scene, and there'll be hieroglyphics on the floor where it's supposed to be a dead body's imprint, and there'll be people stuck in the wall with their legs hanging out because an explosion went off, and that's where their legs ended up, and all of this sort of stuff. You've got to really pan across the whole of the shot to see all of the jokes.
Yeah,
I remember seeing one where there was a crime scene. They were taking photographs, and the bloke that was taking the photograph, the other side, there was the other people doing this, you know, to take a photograph of a dead body, right? You were supposed to be holding up evidence, and they were like this, as if they were taking a Polaroid. And I was going, you see, you blink and you miss it, and you have to watch it again and again and again. It's amazing.
McMahon says that's why. Sai says McMahon that's why I'll always be in the front one in the pantomime horse. Yeah. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Toby Jones, Tony. I don't recall him being in First Cow very much, though. So he's not in it that much. Maybe not. I'm sure I saw him in the trailer. I watched Absolution starring Richard Burton at weekend. Anyone seen it? Takes a while to get going, but really enjoyed the final act. I like Richard Burton, but I don't think I've seen that one. No. Have you seen that one, Absolution?
Absolution. No, don't think I have.
No. James says, Tony, TJ is in it. All I'm saying, it's more of a minor role as opposed to starring role. Toby Jones, yeah.
That was my mum's panic button. I'm just going to have to just go.
Okay.
All right.
All right. It's all right. All right. Yes, I have Absolution on DVD, Jamie. Was going to get Blu-ray, but overpriced and expensive. Oh, it's out of print. Sorry. See, I've got there in the end. Out of print and expensive. Really enjoyable. It is bad when these out of print ones go for a terrible price, very expensive often, but I suppose that's what they do on eBay and wherever you. Okay, thanks, Jamie. I picked Absolution up when I got an email from Indicator stating that it was about to go out of print. Oh, well, that was a good move. Yeah, definitely a good move when you know they're going out of print. And Tony says Billy Connolly has a small role in it. All right, that's good. Yeah, he did have a period when he was popping up in all sorts of films. I remember him even appearing in the X-File, second X-File film, which is very good. I know he popped up in that, didn't he? Yeah. Yes, he does. Didn't realise he turned to acting that early on. Yeah. And David Bradley from Kes. Bayek. Hey, Bayek, Tony. Yeah. Stephen Taylor. Good evening, Ian and Del. Do either of you like Bob Dylan? There's a good film called A Complete Unknown coming out in a couple of weeks, which is about his rise to fame. Yeah, I've seen that. I do like Bob Dylan. I know he's not everybody's cup of tea, particularly his voice, but he's such an important artist, and he's got a wonderful big catalogue of albums that he has done over the years, and all his. Well, the thing about Dylan, he has all these various periods of when he's always adapts and changes, but he's so important to history of music. You know, if we didn't have Dylan, I don't think we'd have had all these singer-songwriters. Even the Beatles, of course, were influenced by Dylan, the fact that they wrote their own songs. So Dylan is a major, major influence in music. Because, you know, most of the early rock and roll artists, apart from Buddy Holly, didn't write their songs. No, they didn't write them. There's only Buddy Holly that stands out as somebody who actually wrote his own material. But Dylan, well, he just took it there and, you know, realized that you folk music, they didn't like it, that it could become electric. And so he changed folk music and then changed sort of mainstream pop music, and then the influence on rock music even. Dylan just influenced so many different aspects of music. It's amazing. I'd definitely be interested in that. I've seen this mentioned a lot of Complete Unknown. I definitely will, I think, like to watch that. I'm looking forward to it, actually. Yeah. It should be a good film. Now, there's an actor, and I've forgotten his name, and he's quite important. I think he was in Dune, who plays the role of Dylan. So I'm be really interested to see that film. Definitely. From, you know, people just... Well, I've seen quite positive things from people, Bob Dylan fans and what have you. So I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, I'd like to watch it. Yeah, so that was asking about the Bob Dylan film.
Oh, right, yeah. Is Zebedee in
Complete Unknown.
Is Zebedee in it?
This is what you get when it comes to music. You know, any artists apart from Elton John, this is what we get. This is what we get. This is, you know,
if Dougal's not in it, I ain't interested. No, seriously. Of course, I've been watching. I've actually been. In fact, most people will know that on a Friday, what I tend to do now is I watch BBC Four and I watch all of the Top of the Pops, and then they do these sort of like the BBC do folk or whatever it is. And they did a Bob Dylan one the other day. They showed 2-part documentary of his where he was talking about his early life. And of course, it went into his they showed all the interviews of people after his concert when he went all electric, and they were all disbanded, and they were going, "Oh, I think he's turned his back on us," and all of this.
Yeah, that's right.
I did see that, and I do like music films. You know, like I said, all the way going back to the Jolson story. I've sort of watched these things, and I've learned an awful lot. You know, these autobiographical films. You know.
Yeah.
But yes, I am looking forward to that particular
a complete unknown.
film.
Yeah,
complete unknown.
Yeah, it does look good. And
I mean, I don't know what people think. I mean, he sold his own collection, didn't he, to Warner for an absolute fortune, didn't he?
Yeah. A lot of artists are doing that. So many of artists are selling their back catalogue. It's a way of raising money, and maybe they feel it's a last chance to do that.
Well, maybe he thinks to himself, you know, might as well live with the money while I'm alive.
Yeah, because he's getting on a bit. How old is he? Is he in his 90s?
He's I thought he was high 80s, low 90s.
Yeah, I think he is.
I mean, I was interested in him. Who was that artist? I've forgotten her name now. She did a track called Diamonds and Rust.
Oh, I don't know.
It was a girl that he was going out with.
Bob Dylan.
Yeah.
I've
got to look her up.
Joan Baez? Is it Joan Baez? Joan Baez?
Yes, that's it. Yeah, that's her. And that track, Diamonds and Rust, is a gorgeous track.
Yeah.
Gorgeous track. And then when I heard that, I went, I'm interested in Bob Dylan now. I want to hear about some of his tracks because, you know, other than the mainstream ones, I probably don't know a lot of his stuff. And I was quite amazed at how some of the early stuff, actually, all the tracks were really good.
Yeah.
And yet only the mainstream ones ever get played. It's amazing. It's like anything. There's a lot of Elton John like that. You know, if you listen to his albums, they only played about 3 tracks, and they were the singles that came out of the albums and all of that sort of stuff. But
I was watching a program where, well, no, actually, it was the Led Zeppelin one, and I can't believe this, but there were some DJs who'd play a whole side of an album and then play the other side of an album. I mean, could you imagine that nowadays happening?
Well,
it wouldn't happen. They wouldn't play whole sides of an album.
I mean, everybody in this room, I think, is of a certain age, right? And they'll appreciate it, right? But they used to compile an album to be a story. It was like you played the first track, you got to the end of the first side, you turned it over, and basically there was a sort of a beat to the album. You know, it was a fast track and there was a slow track and all of this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And the industry these days with MP3s, you don't get that now. If you listen to the first 5 seconds and you don't quite like the drum beat in it, you skip it and you're on to the next track.
Yeah.
And we were afraid to do that with records because if you lifted the needle and scratched it, then So basically, you were afraid. Some of us were afraid that we put the needle on the first track and said, I ain't lifting that needle up.
Yeah.
I'm going to listen to the whole thing. Right. And yet there's so many people that only know 3 tracks off of an album.
Yeah.
They, you know, and
well, the idea of an album when I was younger and up to a certain time, maybe even up to the 90s, was the album is a work of art. It's a whole thing. It's not just the singles. It's a whole, you know, right from the artwork to the whole concept of the album, the songs, the way they're put together, the musicians. It's a massive thing, and it's a work of art. But I think that has been lost. That is lost.
I don't want to poo-poo young people. It's just that what I think they think of an album as just being a group of all singles put together with no higgledy-piggledy without any thought whatsoever. When actually an album is actually a lot of thought goes into the
That's right.
track
Yeah.
listing and the order
Yeah.
that they put them in.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
just think of the Mike Oldfield album, right? The whole first side usually was one track, right?
Yeah.
And then you turned it the other side and you had lots of little tracks, right?
Yeah.
It's because it was sort of like a concept album of on a certain theme. So he'd do things like I don't know, Platinum. There was an album called Platinum, right?
Yeah.
And the whole first side literally is 20 minutes of instrumental.
Yeah.
And then on the other side, you had things like Moonlight Shadow and all of this.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's that album, because actually
Yeah.
that album is 5 Miles Out or something. I forgot what the
Yeah.
album is called now. But what I'm trying to say is this is where I loved albums of the old days, because
Yeah.
they
I agree.
were compiled in that particular way that I loved. The
Yeah.
very first album that I played all the way through was War of the Worlds.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was okay. It's a story album, and but it's just that I was reading the book and I was listening to, and I was singing along with the songs, and I was
Yeah.
I was following it with the book.
Yeah.
Is what I'm trying to say. It
Yeah.
was a double album, and I tell you what, I came away going, "Cool, I thought I'd watched a film."
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
And it just followed suit with soundtracks. I sort of like when I listen to a track, I can see the images in the film.
Yeah.
I know exactly what cue it is and where it is in the film.
Yeah.
Especially with a Morricone album. I think a Morricone album is definitely cue ridden, where you can actually see the action when you listen to the track. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Morricone is very big with me. I love Morricone albums.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say one of the great artists that understood what albums were all about was David Bowie. You look at his whole catalogue, how he was always on about changing and the albums, and he wasn't afraid to experiment, going to loads of different areas. He understood, I think, about the whole concept of albums, and I think with younger people, we seem to have lost all that. It's very sad.
I think even his last album is
it's
also
not an event anymore. When an album was going to come out, people say, "Oh, crikey, they've got a new album coming out. This is fantastic." We've been waiting.
I think though, isn't even David Bowie's last album even done in the same way as the old 70s way? I think it actually is. It's not all singles. It is all a story if you listen to it from start.
His last album is, I think it's so powerful, because all the songs about it are about, in many ways, connected with his own mortality. He knew he was dying, and he was rushing to get the albums out. He was really wanting to get. He knew that time was not on his side, and they brought out an amazing amount of creativity. Absolutely. When I love, I think it's such a powerful album, that last album. It really is. It's so powerful. But it's that history of albums was so important, right from the Beatles. Even when the Beatles started, of course, that's what the mentality was, that you put a couple of the singles on, and then after the singles, you just fill it up with various tracks. But they were a group that realized that, you could do a lot more than just fill it up. You write your own songs, you get ideas about what you're going to do. Because if you listen the original, a lot of Beatles, these are early rock and roll songs they were doing, and that's reflected in those early albums. But once they got the songwriting going, you suddenly thought, oh, we can do all sorts, and the whole idea of albums became important. And Dylan is in that inspiration for writing your own songs, because once you write your own songs, that's it. fantastic. Yeah. Anyway, I've gone on a bit there. Right.
Yeah, we must get cracking on because I have to say.
Yeah. Jamie says, yeah, he plays a disabled schoolboy who is victimized by Burton's priest. Oh, right. Richard Byrne. I thought the plot of Minecraft was to create a portal to the Nether and then defeat the Ender Dragon. It does have an end to the game. My kids completed it a few times. We used to LAN.
Yeah, actually, Bobart is actually quite right. Actually, on that, I forgot about that. But really, the if you didn't know about a dragon, you would think to yourself, you've just got to survive on this island. It's just that if you delve deeper and if you dig deep enough into the game, if you dig into the center of the earth, you tend to find there's a world underneath the earth, and you find this dragon. And you create a portal. That's quite right. There is. I forgot that, but I think when the original game came out, it didn't have that. It had it's got what they call a creative mode. Creative mode means nothing really kills you. You just build things. So you build a house in the side of a mountain and things like that. Do you know what I mean? It's just how big is this Lego set? That's what it is. You know what I mean? Yeah. He's quite right though. There is a dragon. There is a portal. Yeah, there is.
Yeah. Right. Weebobert says you really should watch Whitebird if you haven't yet. Ian and Dell. There you are. Whitebird. And then Tony says, I checked out my Optimum releasing DVD. Oh, Offspring and Port Wine, Ian. I'd call it average picture quality. I've seen better, but quite a bit worse too. Yeah, I really hope that deserves to have a really good release. You never know, it might do, but I don't know. It's such a good film. It blew me away. I just loved it. Absolutely. It just brought, when a film triggers all these memories and you know it's authentic and you've got a brilliant actor like James Mason, it just works on so many levels. But yeah, the quality wasn't brilliant, unfortunately, on the transfer. It needs a really good transfer. Hopefully Arrow, go on Arrow, get it. Get a good release. So while rummaging in the garage this week, I found all my vinyl singles, which I thought I'd lost. I had a nostalgic fest listening to some of them that night. Aye, by heck. Yeah. It's all about nostalgia when you listen to music. And all your singles certainly would do. And then James says, I'm looking forward to Sinners and Warfare at the cinema week after next. Oh, right. Sinners and Warfare. I don't know that.
Don't think I've heard of it.
No. I didn't mean F1 the sport. I meant F1 the movie with Brad Pitt. It's coming out this summer. Sorry, Si, it's me. I just thought F1 Formula 1. But no, that sounds interesting. Yeah, nothing to do with Formula 1 racing. Right. Cy Robson, I'm an F1 fan, and after seeing the trailer, I will no go to see it. It looks embarrassingly bad. Laugh out loud. I guess it's okay for non-F1 fans. Oh, I don't know. Well, I don't know what to say about that. I only recommend the black and white film, The Girl with the Needle, 2024. It's a bleak watch with stunning cinematography. Yeah. But that it does sound bleak. I'm sure I've seen that. Is that a Radiance film release? I think it could well be. It did look a bit bleak. It did look bleak. Yeah. I watch black and white films alone, as my family won't watch them. So I watch them when I'm alone. Why? Why won't they watch black and white films? I don't understand it. But there we are. Watched a folk horror style horror. 8 for Silver 2021. It's quite a good take on the werewolf story. Only slight odd part that slightly distracted me was the fact it was set and filmed in 19th century France, but the actors all spoke English, and some with a distinct northern accent. I bet they're going, "Hey, have you ever a cuppa?" And anyhow, that's it. Yeah, I can see it. It would kind of be distracting. I think I have seen that film mentioned before, the werewolf thing. 8 for Silver 2021. Yeah. So a modern black and white film I recommend is A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night. It's such a beautiful film. All right, that sounds good.
Have you seen that one before? I haven't seen
No,
that.
I've not seen that before. Jamie has. Yes, that's a good shout. So yeah. I think I might have a video on an HDMI adapter on my Wee Bob channel. There you are.
Yeah.
You know that. You've there Ezekiel. There you are.
No, that's those things that I was telling you about that I put in the chat.
Mirrorbox 4K capture, and sent you a photo on Discord, Del.
Yeah,
right?
And I said I'll give him a personal answer.
Yeah. The HDI adapter I have a video on was doing the opposite. It was for putting HDMI device onto a CRT. Right. Anyway, gents, I will catch up on the replay. Hope you have a great rest of your stream and all the best to both of you and your families. Cheers. Thank you, Wee Bobart. Thank you so much.
Wee Bobart. What a channel he's got. What a channel he's got.
And he says, same to all in the chat. Thank you again.
Such a nice guy. And I tell you what, he heavily promotes Ian on his channel. He says he's really enjoyed himself discovering this channel. And he wished he hadn't discovered it so late.
Oh, well, he sounds like he's got a great channel, and people should go over and check him out. Sounds a great guy. Absolutely great.
You see that picture of an owl?
Sorry?
You see that picture of an owl?
Yeah.
He drew that.
Oh, right. Fantastic. I know you do mention him quite a lot on your blog, don't you?
God, yeah.
Yeah. Fantastic. Anyhow, thank you for joining us. Really appreciate it a lot. Thank you. And then Andy makes Star Wars. Happy Wednesday, lads. Zack Snyder's Justice League did a noir black and white version. Was okay, nothing special.
Yeah.
Oh,
I bought that on a steelbook.
Really? Yeah. It's not a great film, is it? The Justice League.
No, it's not.
No. Tony Hawk says night, Bob. Night, Wee Bob. James says, I sent it second class, so it arrived on the Saturday because it wouldn't fit through the letterbox. You bastard. Night, Bob. Tough Guys was the film. Oh, right.
Yeah, Burt Lancaster.
Yeah, that's it. Ellie Walsh was in it too. There you are. Tony says Burt Lancaster stars with Kirk Douglas in 7 Days in May 1964. A good Cold War thriller. I like Cold War thrillers. Yeah. Brilliant.
Certainly to be previewed on Ian's channel as soon as he gets it in the post.
They don't make movie stars like they used to. There were some great old movie stars. Yeah. Frank Calder, they rarely don't sigh. And Tony says, too true. The Long Good Friday is my favorite Easter film. Actually, that is a good film. I could watch that again.
Yeah, I bought it last year, didn't I? The special Arrow edition, I think.
Yeah, it's a very good film, and it's one that we always cite as a British gangster film with Get Carter. It's a great film. Stephen says, have you seen Following Have you been following the football, Ian? Leeds are top of the league with 5 games to go. Yes. I think we might go up automatic. Yes, I think this time we might do it. I was getting a bit worried, but knowing Leeds, we could still blow it. Could have suddenly start losing games. We don't want to get in the playoffs. We get in the playoffs, we won't go up. We just don't succeed. Up automatic. Fantastic. Brilliant, absolutely wonderful. I'm looking forward to us back in the Premiership where we belong.
Bloody Northern bastard football
we
blasted
deserve to be
bloody
in the
football.
We are a
blasted
Premiership
bloody
team.
Northern shit.
We're a great team, Leeds. Always have been.
Are you?
Yeah. Tony says, I think the stream should carry a 12 certificate. Oh, yeah. Dodgy things. Alan says, no, she's not watching any longer, and I'll make sure she doesn't again. Shame, as she usually enjoys it, but you're free to swear as much as you can now.
Well, thank you very much, Alan.
Guess what Delboy's favourite swear word is? Oh, crikey.
I don't bastard know.
Ian, don't forget channel promotion for Dell before viewing numbers plummet. Yeah, I've done it. I did it earlier. I got in earlier this time. Yeah, the promotion. There were a few extra people. Not many, but
he did it when there was 8 in the stream, and now it's got up. Now it's got up to 15. The bastard.
Yeah. Well, you must be telepathic, and also he did it at the right time. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I remembered. Nothing beats Superman saving Lois Lane from that helicopter accident.
Yeah.
Possibly the most iconic scene from a superhero film, beats anything that MCU has done or will ever do. Wow, that's quite a challenge. I like that. Especially if you've got Mr. Marvel fan. There he is.
I'm a Spider-Man fan.
Yeah.
Right. I am a Spider-Man fan, but it's actually called The Night of Superman, that whole scene, because it was done in one night, wasn't it? Superman suddenly rescued Lois Lane in the helicopter. Then he went around and foiled a bank robbery.
Yeah.
A jewel thief crawling up there. Then there was a boat thing going on, a gunfight between a boat and the police on the boats, and he foiled that. Etc. And then the Daily Planet then showed all in one night this do-gooder was going around doing all these things. It's interesting. It's an interesting film. You don't make films like that anymore. And I do think DC got off the ground running, because after that there was Batman and all of this sort of stuff. Marvel took years to get anything. I think it was Blade is what they now consider to be the start of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, really now. Like I say, I am a Marvel comic fan, but when it comes to the cinematic universe, really I'm only ever interested in Spider-Man. Not really interested in the rest. I buy them. But it's just Spider-Man I'm interested in. Yeah.
Right. Tony says, I watched a good Gregory Peck Western. Gregory Peck, great actor. The Stalking Moon, 1969. Oh, with Eva Marie Saint, who I was surprised to discover celebrated her 100th birthday last year. Wow. Amazing.
I think it was Eva Marie Saint that basically Hitchcock boycotted, wasn't it? He destroyed her career nearly.
Oh, right. Why was that?
Well, wasn't it? Or was it Tippi Hedren?
I think it was. I think he had an argument with Tippi Hedren after.
Yeah, it's Tippi Hedren, I think.
Yeah.
I know that it was one of them.
Yeah.
He fell in love with her, and basically she rejected him, and basically he said, "I'm gonna keep you on contract and not give you one film for about 3 years."
He could be quite nasty, couldn't he? He
Oh
could be
yeah.
quite nasty. He wasn't a saint, Hitchcock, definitely. The only good Superman is Christopher Reeve. There, I said it.
Well, it is. That's
You got
very
a good
true.
point. You got a good point there.
I mean,
Yeah.
I did enjoy the 50s TV series of Superman, you know.
Yeah.
They were good. I liked him as a kiddie, but when it comes to cinematic Superman, yeah, Christopher Reeve.
Yeah. Yeah. And
I
then
mean? And you're quite right. It's
yeah.
Tippi Hedren. I
Yeah.
don't know why. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I suppose it's because Eva Marie is in a lot of Hitchcock. He's in a few Hitchcock films.
Andy says, hit the like button. Thank you, Andy, for saying that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Andy.
Yeah. Jamie says, I like the Gregory Peck Western, The Gunfighter. In fact, I was blown away by it. Gave it 5 out of 5. Wow. 5 out of 5.
I've got the Gunfighter.
Yeah. Wow, that's a amazing score. Steve Taylor says Disney has lost 100 million on the new Snow White film. It looks like people are getting sick of these woke, political correct movies. That is a lot of money. I didn't realize they'd lost that much. 100 million pounds. But it was a film that you always knew was not going to do well. They're talking about it for such a long time. We knew about this film. And when it finally got its release, it surprised me that it flopped badly.
Yeah, I try not to be negative, and I want to see,
It hasn't surprised me at all.
Do you remember last year I turned around and I said, look, one of the things that I'm going to try and do is I'm not going to try and be a negative about something I've not seen.
Yeah.
And I've tried doing that, but even I went, Snow White, this is a bad idea.
Yeah.
Bad idea.
The film has now got so much baggage, you can't imagine anybody being favorable to it. That's how it's become. You just can't imagine it happening. Right. Tony says, I've only seen The Gunfighter once on TV many years ago. Don't remember much of it.
It's good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. I think I prefer Gregory Peck to John Wayne in Westerns, to be honest. Now, there's a good, interesting point to make. Because John Wayne, everybody sees him as Mr. Western.
John Wayne has got a presence.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where you know what you're getting with a John Wayne film. I think with Gregory Peck, it was a bit more variety.
Yes. Actually, just listen to this. We've got here Jamie saying absolutely, and then his next comment is John Wayne is the same in every movie.
Yeah, it's almost like the film studios that hired him because he was a contract player.
Yeah.
They basically said, look, we need more of the same, and probably 3 of them every year.
And he says never understood the fascination with John Wayne. Interesting.
He certainly wasn't a very good Genghis Khan, I'll tell you that.
Everybody mentions that Genghis Khan film, yeah. He did make a lot of bad films, didn't he?
He did, yeah.
Yeah, I'm afraid it's true.
I think he got better towards the end. In fact, his last 3, 4, 5 films
those last
films were pretty good corkers of films.
Yeah, I like Brannigan when he's a detective in London, and he did what is it where he's dying of cancer? His last film,
with Richard Thomas.
Yeah, that's a great film. Absolutely great.
The bloke from the Waltons, wasn't it?
Yeah. I forgot.
Basically, he has a last gunfight, doesn't he?
Yeah, that's right. It's actually really a good film. His acting in it, it's good. But I understand there is a lot of fascination with John Wayne, and he made a lot of films that were just the same. They weren't, But then people point out, they'll always say, the searchers, they'll always say that as his great films.
Yeah, Who Shot Liberty Valance?
Yeah. Tony says The Bravados is a good one of Peck's with Joan Collins and Lee Van Cleef. Joan Collins, I'm in 1958. Yeah, I think his last Western was Old Gringo, 1989 with Jane Fonda. Well, he had a big career, didn't he, Gregory Peck? He must have made loads of films. Yeah, massive career. And off screen, he was supposed to be a reet bastard. I think that's John Wayne. Yeah. I gathered that a lot of people were not that keen on him. I've heard a lot of stories about John Wayne.
Yeah,
whether they're true or not, I don't know. But he wasn't
I think
popular.
they thought of him as being a bit of a racist.
That's right. Yeah, he was a Nixon supporter, wasn't he? Was
with Charlton Heston, it was all about the gun laws.
Yeah.
With John Wayne, it was all about immigration.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
And so forth.
Yeah. Nixon wasn't particularly a good example of a Republican to follow. Oh, this is interesting. Thoughts on Charlton Heston? Brilliant. I love Charlton Heston. I think he's a great actor. He was.
Well, I've done my own series of the dystopian trilogy, haven't I?
He was just a great actor, and he never bothered people. This is what I don't understand about people. You don't just, they have certain politics and what have you, but that's totally separate from art, and the art that he produced. I think he produced some of the great films. I like him as an actor. I think he's a great actor. I just like him. Totally.
He just kept reinventing himself, didn't he?
Yeah, he was a great actor. Yeah, I mean, as somebody, where we like sci-fi, the fact that he was willingly do the sci-fi films, because don't forget, some actors won't do that. Sci-fi is not looked upon always very favorably by some actors. I don't think they think it's like horror, a serious thing, even though, it's very extremely popular. And he did sci-fi, did Charlton Heston. And, it's great actor, absolutely great actor. I went off Heston after seeing the documentary Bowling. Yeah, I've seen that with the thing, but I've put that aside. I know what you mean with the gun lobby thing, yeah. I think you have to separate the art. I mean, there's quite a few people who are not very nice characters, but you can like the films that they've done. My example would be I enjoy Woody Allen films, but sounds like he's not a very nice character, awful character. But there we are. I think Wayne had a kind of cult following among some Western fans, not entirely deserved, in my opinion. Yeah, I think he has that appeal. I think he had that appeal. Good actor, but an absolute NRA tosser. Yeah, National Rifle Association. Yeah, that's what it was all about. Agreed, Tony. Tony says, I enjoy many of Heston's performances, but I understand he was more in the Orange Man's camp as regard politics. Oh, yeah, I like that Orange Man's camp. Yeah, he would be. Richard Harris didn't get on with Charlton Heston. I didn't know that.
Richard Harris didn't get on with a lot of people.
Probably, yeah. He'd have an argument with anybody, maybe. Yeah.
If you didn't like his singing in bloody piss.
Don't mention the singing. Two big personalities. Yeah. James says, I'm reading a book called Hellraisers about Burton, Harris, Reed, and O'Toole. Yeah, what are a lot of actors. It's an eye-opener of a read. Definitely recommend it. Yeah, very interesting actors, all of them. Hellraisers, definitely. I wonder who was the heaviest drinker. I think Reed would take some beating. And I think Oliver Reed would drink for days and days. And it killed him. It killed him in the end. I suppose you could say he died happy, didn't he?
I mean, I think you'd be hard pushed to beat Georgie Best, but I tell you what, Oliver Reed probably would give him a run for his money.
Well, it literally did kill him. It did on
Yeah.
set, wasn't it? It was there and it killed him. Gladiators. No, Gladiator. Sounds like Orange Man has finally put a pause on the tariffs for 90 days and markets have rallied as a result. Good. Thank God for that. My pension was 10,000 down. Wow. Yeah, I never thought about my pension. Don't you worry me now about mine next year. No. Oh God. Yeah. Yeah. The world hasn't reacted very well at all, has it, to what he's been up to? So far, I'd say Burton sounds like the heaviest drinker. Yeah, he was a heavy drinker, but I think Ollie. I don't know about Oliver Reed. Mukman Movies. Have you seen the Peter O'Toole interview with Letterman? He tells an amazing story about himself and Peter Finch. Possibly the greatest story ever told. Oh, I've not seen that.
I think he's told that story on.
He was drinking at least 3 bottles of vodka a day at one point.
Yeah, I think he told the story on Parkinson as well. Actually.
Yeah. Ooh, Orange Man. Maybe that explains all these tariffs. It's all, him. There's a bit in the book about Finch and O'Toole getting up to no good while pissed. Well, I can imagine that. Yeah. By all accounts, Bernard Hill, M from Bond, was one of the biggest drinkers in film history. I've not heard of that. Interesting. Yeah. I don't know. The Girl with the Needle is a Mumbai release, Ian. Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. Bernard Lee I saw a documentary that told about that while he was working on an Amicus anthology film. Wow. O'Toole used to shimmy up drain pipes to girls' bedrooms while pissed, which doesn't sound very sensible, does it? That he could easily fall off. The dirty old man.
You dirty old
man.
You
dirty old man. Yeah. When I say girls, I mean women. Yeah, you have to say
I think you were right
nowadays.
the first time, girls.
Yeah.
Dirty old man.
Richard Burton couldn't keep his dick in his pants throughout the 50s and 60s. He cheated on all his wives. Oh, damn me. Language, Timothy. Oh, yeah. That's it. Stream is now rated 15. Hey, it's going up. It's going up. It's past the watershed now. All right. Okay. Very good. And then we've got Tony York saying fair point. And then we've got James saying rated 18 after midnight when Ian eats something and turns into a gremlin. Damn. Yes.
Is he saying you're a magpie?
Yeah. So a couple of exploitations, both with Robert Powell, Harlequin, which was enjoyable, and The Survivor, 1981. So Harlequin's 1980. That's 1981.
I've heard of Harlequin.
Not so good in my opinion.
I've heard of Harlequin. I don't think I've seen The Survivor.
Yeah. So you didn't rate that one as much as Harlequin. Yeah, I've heard of Harlequin mentioned. Tony is a exploitation Australian films. If it is, I really enjoyed Razorback. All right, Razorback. Yeah, this is the Shootist. That was the one. Yeah, that John Wayne. Was in.
I like the Shootist. It's a good film.
Yeah. The only John film I like is McHugh. All right. Yeah, McHugh.
Again, they made a TV series of that.
Yeah. The Longest Day is probably my favorite John Wayne film. The Longest Day, every British actor seems to be in that film. They make some appearances. It's almost like Richard Attenborough called up everybody and said, hey, come on, be in my film. You can be in 5 minutes. in my film, and sort of every British actor available seemed to pop up. It's amazing.
Well,
It is a
John
good
Wayne,
film.
I mean, it's blink and you miss him in How the West Was Won. The film I sent you, and he's a general in that, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's part of the North, is he, or is he part of the South? He's part of the North, isn't he?
Yes, he is the North. He is blink and you'll miss him. He's not in it much at all.
It is set around that war, the Civil War, isn't it?
Was there any reason why he didn't do more in that film? Because you'd have thought he would have done.
I don't know. It's set around the decades around a certain family, isn't it? So
yeah, but I just thought that
it's only the fact that one of the people that's in it went off to war, didn't he? Left the farm.
Yeah.
Left the farm, went into war, went into battle. He actually befriended somebody who was who was one of the Souths, wasn't it? And he was just about to kill John Wayne or one of the others. And he stabbed him with his bayonet, went back home and found out that his mother had died or something.
I remember that. Yeah. Because I watched it last year when you sent me it. So
it's a great film.
It is a great film, but I was kind of disappointed that he wasn't in it that much. I thought such an iconic.
I just think that film is due a better restoration because it was done with 3 film cameras stitched together.
That's right. It was.
You can see the join.
Yeah.
But it's got some great vistas. I mean, it looks like they're going. It look at some points when you're seeing a sideways view of a horse. A gallop. It's almost like they're going around a fishbowl.
Yeah.
See what I mean? That big, it's that wide a film. Jesus.
Right, it is getting on a bit late now. So Australian exploitation men in the 70s, 80s. Never seen Razorback all the way through, just bits on TV. Must get it at some point. And I only know 2 Oz films from the 80s. Is Razorback and BM.
Well, we've talked about
Wayne the longest day.
We've talked about Jenny Agutter in the Australian film, the Walkabout and all that.
Yeah. Let's see. I forgot about Wayne in the Longest Day, Jamie. At least in that, there's so many big names. He doesn't get to dominate the film so much. Yeah. BMX Bandits, Fat Fingers. I don't know what to
he was
say
trying
about
to
that
type. He was trying to type BMX Bandits.
Right. Exactly, Tony. Indicator are releasing some Ozploitation titles. All right. Patrick is a good one as the child catcher from Chitty as a doctor. Sorry, somebody's knocking at the door. Just have to.
Is that your son?
I don't know. All right. Thank you.
I reckon that's a Tony York delivery. I reckon Tony York sent a batch of DVDs at the start of this video, and they just arrived.
Hello. Yeah, right. That's sorted.
What do you mean? What's sorted?
Sorry.
What's sorted?
It was his takeaway.
Oh, I just said I think Tony York has just sent you a load of DVDs that just arrived.
Oh, that joke! You can't beat a good joke.
He sent them at the start of this video, and they just got there.
Tony, I'll have to have a look at Indicator. Cheers. Yeah. Indicator have a sale on at the moment.
I do like it when Indicator have a sale on. They've got some interesting stuff.
this week. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have a look at the indicator if there's anything.
It's always the same movies, though, isn't it?
Yeah. Question: favorite World War II film? There's a lot of films.
Oh.
What should I say? I know what I'll say. It's got a lot of stars in it. Battle of the Bulge. That's it.
Yeah. I don't know. I've been watching a lot of World War One ones recently, you know, like 1917 and things like that. I mean, everybody says Saving Private Ryan, but I think that's a cliche.
That's why I chose Battle of the Bulge.
Yeah. I'll have to come back. There's that one that I bought a while back, and I can't remember what it's called. It's the one that's got so many stars in it, you wouldn't believe it. It's got Sean Connery in it. It's got
I know what I could have said as well. I've just thought Desert Rats, the Desert Rats with James Mason as Rommel. He's great as Rommel. I love that one as well. But I'll stick with Battle of the Bulge, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, next. I'll think of one.
Yeah, okay. Guess what I'm doing after the stream?
I don't think I want to know, you dirty bastard.
Oh, here it is. Well, yeah, of course. Where Eagles Dare. Where Eagles Dare. What can you say about that film? Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And nice Burton Eastwood on top form. It's true. It's just a roller coaster of entertainment and wonderful film. Final watch of the week, Shanghai 2010 with John Cusack, an espionage thriller set in early World War II, Shanghai. Not surprisingly, quite good. Oh, brilliant. Enjoy that then, Tony. Not heard of that one, Tony. So going to bed with a box of Ian's got his takeaway. Oh, there we are. So we're near the end now. I laugh. Breakfast arrived. Oh, good. My DVDs have turned up. Yeah, that joke is going on. Bridge Too Far is a good one. Lots of big names. Yep, that's right.
I think I'm going to go with Dam Busters.
Oh yeah, good one. I nearly said that, Tony. Bridge Too Far. Oh yeah, Cross of Iron, of course. Yeah, that's a good one. But Eastwood and Burton rule. Yeah, it is just a entertaining film, and Where Eagles Dare, wonderful.
Yeah.
Think I prefer it over a Battle of Britain. I know what you mean. Yeah, Battle of Britain's good, but it I don't know. It's almost got too many people in it. You know, oh look, so and so's in it. Oh, so and so's. Oh yes, I agree. Can't beat Anton Diffring doing his German officer bit in Eagles Dare. Oh, Anton Diffring, great actor as a German. I'd like to mention Jerry Goldsmith. Oh no, you've done it now. Why have you? No.
I'll tell you what. Jerry Goldsmith did some very interesting scores to some World War II films. I think he did Patton.
Oh, right. Yeah. I know we're at the end.
I just thought I'd mention that because Jerry Goldsmith.
I thought we were going to get there without it, but you've done it now, Si. You've done it. So that's it. Yeah, thank you, everyone that's been here watching us go on. And unfortunately, Jerry Goldsmith got there in the end. But anyway, Tony's just saying good night, Tony. Thanks, Tony, as always, for doing a great job. And Si says, nighty night, guys. Thank you, everyone. And
I just want to say a big thank you to everybody for all the support. And I'm so sorry that I keep having to disappear, but things are smoothing out a little bit now.
Good.
I must admit, it's
good to hear.
I can't say it will ever be the same as it was before. because the occupational nerves, they come in at different times and all that sort of stuff. But
Jamie's saying good night all. Early night for a change. Yeah, that's great. That's it. So I say thank you everybody for joining us and making it a great stream. It's you that all make this stream, and Delboy, thank you so much. And I'll just now let Delboy say his farewell.
Oh, when it's good night from me.
And it's good night from him.
And salute!
And all I've got to say is, I'll see thee again. Oh dear.